at your window, baby, where the snow is falling down.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Thousand Life Fam. If you're new here, my name is Jenaya and this is Live 1,000 Lives. Welcome to a Bookmas Day 3. So today I'm going to be doing my October and November wrap up. It should not be a very long video because your girl sucked at reading the last couple months. Hey, what are you gonna do? You know. But let's get into the books that I read in October. I'm going to have a graphic in the corner that will show my co-pile rating. If you don't know what co-pile is, it is a rating system created by G at Book Roast. I will leave her video in the cards for you. And yeah, so I will leave a graphic up here of what I rated it, for what category, etc. I won't be holding up any books today because the book will be with the graphic. Without further ado, let's get into this.
There's a thick white blanket covering all of it.
For October, I managed to read 4 books. Yes, 4. That's it. What are you gonna do? October was a really hard month for me for multiple reasons. One, my husband and I went to marriage boot camp and we were trying to fix our marriage. We also were trying to finish moving, and I ended up in the hospital. So I'm not going to go into that, but if you want to know more about that, I will leave the video where I talk about that in the cards for you as well. So for the month of October, the first book that I read was Silent Voices. I think it's Silent Voice, not Voices, but I always say Voices for some reason. This is a manga and it was volume 1. So for co-pile, I gave it a 9 for characters, a 10 for atmosphere, a 7 for writing, a 7 for plot, an 8 for intrigue. I gave it logic an 8. And enjoyment a 9. The total rating came out to an 8.29 and it was a 4-star rating. Silent Voice or Voices is about a girl who is deaf and has hearing aids. She goes to a new school and she is getting bullied by this boy, and as they grow up, like, his friends are kind of not supporting his decisions to bully her, etc. And some stuff goes down and she ends up moving away, and after she leaves, he realizes that she was trying to protect him. It's really an interesting story. I highly recommend you check it out. The only reason I didn't give it a 5-star, honestly, I think for me, there was a lot of just lulls a little bit, and we didn't get a lot of explanation as to why the boy was doing these things. So, but it is a series, so maybe I just need to read more of it, but that's why I didn't get a 5-star. Book number 2 was Assassin's Apprentice, and this one, I had a really hard time with this one. This is about a boy named Fitz, who is the bastard son of the king in waiting, and when his father finds out, he decides to give up his spot for the throne, which kind of makes a lot of people angry and disappointed. So they don't treat him very well, and yeah, it's just kind of him growing up. I think by the end of the book he's like 16, maybe 14 or 15. For co-pile rating, for characters I gave it a 9. For atmosphere, I gave it a 9. For writing, a 9. Plot and intrigue, I gave it a 7. For logic and enjoyment, I gave it an 8. And it came out a total rating at 8.14, which is a 4-star. Everyone seems to love this. I thought it was okay. It wasn't the best, but I did like it more towards the end. Book number 3 for October was The Tea Dragon Society, Volume 1. This is the cutest little book. It is about tea dragons, which help make tea, I think. And people are supposed to like take care of them, and it's like I'm not really sure how to explain this very well, but it's about a girl who ends up finding one and helping out with kind of like a tea dragon sanctuary, I guess. But anyway, it was really cute. It was super good. So, for characters, I gave it an 8. For atmosphere, I gave it a 9. For writing and plot, I gave it an 8. For intrigue and logic, I gave it a 9. For enjoyment, I gave it a 10. Came out at an 8.71, which is a 4-star. And the last book that I read in the month of October was Across the Green Grass Fields by Shauna McGuire. I've been reading this series for a while. This was the newest one, and wanted to see how it was. So, this is about a girl who finds out something. I'm not really going to tell you because that's a spoiler, about herself that she didn't know. And that her parents had been keeping from her. And she confides in a friend of hers who is not a very good friend. And the friend turns her back on her and tells everyone. And then the girl finds her door and goes to a land of like centaurs and with hooves, lots of creature with hooves, okay, and unicorns and stuff like that. And she fits in, and she builds this life here. I think she's missing for like 6 years or something like that. And she like builds this incredible life, and she's supposed to save the world from the evil king or queen, basically. And finds out a whole bunch of stuff that isn't true about the world. And then it just kind of ends. Like, she just goes back to her normal life, and I thought it was a really weird ending. She didn't really do a whole lot, and I was just like, okay, what was the point then? Like, for co-pilot, I gave the characters an 8, the atmosphere a 7, the writing an 8, the plot I gave it a 6 because I didn't understand what was happening. Intrigue and logic, I gave it a 7. And enjoyment, I gave it an 8. Came out at a 7.29, which is a low 4-star. So it probably, if I would have put anything lower, it probably would have ended up being a 3-star, like a high 3-star, but 4-star. And the sucky thing is that I liked this world, one of the best, I think, that I've read so far. I mean, I love the Down Among the Sticks and Bones book, and the other one with the Jack and Jill in it, where you see their world and stuff. I loved those books, but this world was probably my favorite that we've gone to besides theirs. So I'm really kind of disappointed in the end. I hope that there's another book with that world and her, because I really want to understand why nothing really happened at the end. So that's it for October. Let's move on to November. So in November, I only completed 2 books, but I read half of 2 others. I think what happened is one of the books I'm in the middle of put me in a reading slump really bad. So I'll talk about that in a minute, but let's get to the books I actually read. First book I read was Truly Devious. I loved this book. For characters, I gave it an 8. For atmosphere, writing, and plot, I gave it a 9. For intrigue, I gave it a 10. For logic, I gave it a 7. For enjoyment, I gave it a 9. And the total rating was an 8.71, and that's a high 4-star. So, it was 4-star. This is about a girl who goes to like an elite school, and she goes because of her detective skills, I guess, like her amateur detective skills. She's interested in solving a mystery that happened in like the late 1800s, I believe. Some stuff starts happening while she's there, and she thinks there's a connection. It's the first book in a series, and I haven't read the other one, so it's really good. I really enjoyed it. The next book that I read was Fire by Kristen Couture. I actually finished this book. Let's see what I gave it. For characters, I gave it an 8. Atmosphere, I gave it an 8. Writing, I gave it a 6. The reason is because it didn't make sense with the Graceling story, which it's like a prequel sequel. Because Graceling's first and then Fire, but Fire I think is before the Graceling. And it threw me off really bad. Plot, I gave it a 7. Intrigue, logic, and enjoyment, I gave it an 8. Came out at a total 7.57, which is a 4-star, but like a lowish middle 4-star. So those are the books I read in the months of October and November. I think the reason I didn't do so well in November was because, number one, the first week I was really tired because of being in the hospital the last week of October. I was trying to read Mexican Gothic, and that book put me in a slump so bad that I just didn't want to read anything. So unfortunately, I think that's what happened. And I did try to read something else. I started listening to Winterwood, and I started reading A Court of Silver Flames, which I was super enjoying, of Court of Silver Flames, but didn't get a chance to finish that. And I got halfway through Winterwood before I needed to film this video. So what are you gonna do? I'm gonna put those on hold because I have a huge December TBR. Anyway, you guys, those are the books that I read in the months of October and November. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and ding the little bell icon. Please remember to consider subscribing and comment down below for me, you guys. If you just want to let me know you're here, just comment any sort of, Christmas-y emoji. That'd be great. Remember, all of my social media links are in the description box below for you if you want to be my friend on any other platform. Remember, my Amazon wish list is also in the description box below for you if you want to see the books I'm interested in, or if you fancy sending me a surprise. I also have mental health links in all of my videos from the start of 2021. If you or someone you know needs them, please use them. Remember, guys, a reader lives 1,000 lives, and so can you. So keep on reading. And remember to stay safe and healthy, be happy and kind, and always love one another. See you in the next Bookmas video. Bye.
Everyone is inside. They're getting ready to eat. By the table, I keep one empty seat. For your